a review or first impressions kind of demo on the Covergirl Ready Set Gorgeous foundation. This is Fresh Complexion Oil-Free Foundation. A lot of you guys recommended me to try it and were looking for my thoughts on it, so I thought I would do my typical trying out of the foundation. And if you'd like to see the demo review of this foundation to see what I found, how it wore, and how I liked the finish, then go ahead and keep watching this video. Okay, so we're gonna start. I have 2 shades of the Ready Set Gorgeous foundation. Comes in this squeezy tube. They both have 1 fluid ounce and they were $5.95 each. I found them at H-E-B, which is a grocery store here in Texas, and that's how much they cost there. It says Fresh Complexion Oil-Free Foundation. So the claims on the back are 1 simple step for a flawless, natural look that lasts all day. The formula blends easily to even skin tone and reduce shine all day. Oil-free, won't clog pores, suitable for sensitive skin, and lasts all day. I picked up the colors 110 and 115. 110 is Creamy Natural, and this one is Buff Beige. So I'm going to go with Buff Beige, just looking at it, and we'll see if this is a good fit. So the top twists off, and it's just this little squeezy tube like this. And to apply this today, I'm going to use the Makeup Geek Face Buffer Brush. I really like this brush, so I'm just going to squeeze a little bit out. The foundation is, I would say, a pretty good consistency. It's not too liquidy. It's not, I mean, it does drip if I tip my hand, but it's like a slow drip basically. So let's just do one side of my face. Ooh, even this color might be a little bit light. This color is pretty light, but we'll see. Okay. You do not need that much foundation, as I put, like, the amount I put on my hand is going to be enough to cover my whole face. So I'm going to have to spread this out a little bit because that was a ton of foundation. I didn't realize it was like that much of a coverage really. I definitely put too much on that first time. I should have spread it out a little bit. I was just going to do half of my face, but this is really light, but it will be fine. Like, I can use bronzer to warm up my complexion. So that is 1 layer. It feels like it takes a little bit of time to set up. So here are my thoughts and opinions on Covergirl foundations. I don't like them typically. I don't. The last one I tried, it had that weird applicator thing, like the new like hair smoothing one. I like the way that that looked. It didn't wear particularly amazingly, and I just thought it was like really too gimmicky with the applicator. The foundation on its own with the brush worked fine. This is a really great price point for a foundation as far as like the coverage and whatnot, and the amount of product that you get. It has a pretty good color selection. So I was really hoping that this one would be better. The Outlast foundation is like too matte for my skin. So I like that this is a flawless finish, but it's still supposedly natural looking. Granted, I did put a little bit too much on my face to begin with. I'm just going over this with a second layer. That would be the amount that I would use, like, consider. I would say that this is a medium. I would say this is a medium coverage. I wouldn't quite consider this 100% full coverage, but it is a pretty good coverage. I do have a few spots I need to spot conceal. I definitely need to put on some bronzer and warm up my face. So far, I think that I like it. It does look like it will be like a good coverage. We'll see how this lasts throughout the day, so I will report back in later today and tell you how this foundation lasted throughout the day, so you can get a good idea of if it lives up to its claims, if it keeps you kind of shine free. I don't really get very oily, so unless this actually like makes me produce oil, I can imagine that that's not going to be a real big factor for me to be testing. I will test the amount of time it wears. Now, you notice I did not put on a primer. I just moisturized my skin before applying this foundation, but I do not put on primers when I'm testing out a foundation. So I like to see if the foundation does what it claims. But it has set up quite nice. It's still a little bit tacky, so this takes a little bit of time to set up is one thing that I noticed with my other CoverGirl foundation. But I'm going to go ahead and apply the rest of my makeup, and then we will see how this foundation looks with a full face of makeup, and I will do a check-in later to see how it's wearing. Okay, so we are a few hours in now that I've had the foundation on, so this is what it looks like with makeup on top, and I really actually like it. I like the finish of it. I like the way other makeup applied on top of it. So really it's just going to be about if it wears well for me throughout the day. So I will be checking in later today to do another test on how it is wearing, if it's lasting, because it claims to be long lasting. So we will see how it is lasting. If you are interested in everything else on my face, I do have a tutorial for this look that I will leave linked down below. But I did set my face with a translucent powder, and all the other face products that I use, like as far as color products, will be listed down below and in that tutorial. For my concealer, I used Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer. So that is what I use for the rest of like complexion products and under my eyes and stuff. So I didn't find that I needed a ton of concealer because it had pretty good coverage. But yeah, I like the way it looks so far. It set up really nicely, and I like the way other makeup applied on top of it. So now I will check back in and let you guys know how it wore throughout the day. Okay, so this is the probably 8-hour check-in. I think it's been 8 hours I've been wearing this foundation. My final thoughts are, I hate to sound lackluster about it, but I just don't love it. I feel like it oxidized a little bit on me, and I feel like when I look up close to my skin, I don't think it has a like natural look, like it says flawless natural look. I feel like it broke down a little bit around my nose. That's typical of a long day wear where I could just touch up with powder if I was going to still be going out. I think that like the rest of my face makeup like is still intact for it being 8 hours. So as far as that, I think that it did, you know, a great job at not completely breaking down, just kind of in the areas like right under my nose, some blemishes here. And to be quite honest, I was baking brownies with my kids. We're delivering them to our neighbors, and my daughter was like, "You have brownies right here, Mom, and brownies right here." So I think that, you know, I was like rubbing up on my head, so if there's like some spot up here that's missing or here, it's probably because I was rubbing my face just because I had brownie batter on it. I don't know. It's just that I really am in love with my Revlon Color Stay. I have a hair like bugging me right here. I'm really in love with my Revlon Color Stay Whipped Foundation. So it's hard for me to, like, I'm kind of comparing these two is what I'm saying. Like, if I was going to be reaching for a foundation, do I find myself reaching for this? Probably not. Is it a bad foundation? No. I feel like the color a little bit oxidized on me, so I could tell that it did get darker once it came in contact with the air. Once it set on my skin, I think it did become a shade darker, so just keep that in mind. Most foundations do oxidize a little bit. This one oxidized where I could see it a little bit. It's not a bad foundation for the price point. It's a good one. I just felt like I could, like I said, see it a little bit on my face. It did do a good job of like keeping oil free, or, you know, just looking good in the T-zone, minus the fact of around the nose. But that's just a typical place that I would find that I would have to apply foundation or powder if I was going to be going out somewhere. I usually just touch up with concealer or whatnot. So anyways, it says that it's suitable for sensitive skin, won't clog pores, oil free. Those things are all great, and I guess I can't attest to won't clog pores because I just don't know. I don't have sensitive skin. I have quite normal skin. And I think that it does give a nice look. Like I said, I like the way foundation or makeup applies on top of this foundation, and it has lasted all day. But when I look at my face in the mirror, I just feel like there are some areas that I can see that it looks like I'm wearing foundation. And it just looks like it is sort of sitting right on top of my skin. So I don't really love the look of it if I am like inspecting my face up close. So yeah, I don't know. It's like if I had to have out of 5 stars, I would probably give this a 3. And like I said, there's nothing really wrong with it, but I think if I'm comparing it to other drugstore foundations, I would probably reach for my Revlon Color Stay more than I would for this foundation. So I hope this was helpful. It wasn't like a rave review, but it wasn't also a horrible one. I mean, I do think it looks good from afar, but if I am inspecting it up close, there are some places that broke down. But on a typical day, like with foundation, if I am going to be wanting to continue the use of my foundation, if I'm going to be going out and seeing anyone, if there's like things that I'm needing my foundation to look good for, I would typically touch it up. So keep that in mind, that this probably would be fine if I just touched it up. But I was really just seeing if I didn't touch it up, how it would last. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found this helpful. If I didn't answer any of your questions, go ahead and leave them down below, and I will see you all in the next video.